Hello there, this is PHP Crashcourse. My name is Cosmic. Let's have some PHP fun. Ready for the dance? Here is our playlist: Introduction to PHP, PHP data types, operators in PHP, functions in PHP, XAMPP and MySQL. Then you are going to make a simple register and login application. Now comes our first lesson: Introduction to PHP. Alright, now this is the introduction into PHP. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you a few things. One thing is that you'll need to install the XAMPP. We'll need to install a certain tool called XAMPP, if you didn't know that. Okay, so the XAMPP is some kind of a server that comes with PHP and MySQL. So what they do is that they provide the server platform. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you how to install it. You can download it online by typing XAMPP, and then you are going to find it. Now right now I'm getting this one. It's called it's a Windows 32, so that's the one that I'm going to hit, and then I'm going to wait for it to start up, and then it's here. So I'm going to click run, and then I'm just going to say yes, and then I'm going to wait for it to load so that we can see how the installation goes. As you can see, it's not really there's not really much. Okay, it's just the same way you can install any other software. Just it's going to give you an installation wizard. Then like this one's just a warning, and then it's going to give you this wizard. Then you're going to click next, and then you see yours, you won't have this problem because mine is already installed. So when I click next, it's not gonna work because I already have XAMPP installed. But you are going to be able to install because probably you do not have it. But if you do, let's continue to the next part. So the next part includes where we save our work. It is about where we save our work. Now we'll be saving our work in the XAMPP folder in a subdirectory called htdocs. So we are going to fire up our file explorer. Then we are going to go to Windows, and we're going to go to Windows C, and then we're going to click double click on the, or however clicking whatever kind of a click mode you're in. So we're going to go to inside the XAMPP subdirectory. Then we're going to click on the htdocs, and then you're going to be saving your work over here. So if anything, a file or a folder, you'll be saving it in the htdocs subdirectory. So what we are going to do, we are going to create our first a simple PHP. So I'm going to PHP project. I'm just going to call it PHP Crashcourse. So I'm going to call it PHP Crashcourse, and then I'm going to hit enter. Looks like we already have something like that. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to click merge, because you know what, I prefer, maybe I could rename this one. But maybe I should first check out. Yeah, so what I'm going to do, I could even delete that one, and then I'm going to create another one called the same PHP, because I want us to start on something new. PHP Crashcourse, and then I'm going to hit enter. Now because we have this one, now I'm going to fire up my text editor, and then we're going to open up the folder in the text editor. So this is my text editor. So I think by now you know how to use this one. So we have three parts. We have this part where we have this kind of a simple sidebar. Then we have this explorer. This is an explorer where you'll be having your files and folders open, and then this is the third part. So here you'll be having not a lot, but it's just a welcome page where you can do some you can have some shortcuts. So what we're going to do, we're going to open a folder, and then we are going to navigate to where our folder is. So right now this is our folder, so I'm going to click PHP Crashcourse, then I'm going to select open, and then I'm going to wait for it to load so that we can write our first PHP file. So we will not be doing very much on this introduction, but I want you to get just the basics. So okay, to create a new file in Visual Studio Code, you can click this icon, this small icon with a plus icon there, with a plus sign there, and then this one is for a folder, this one is to refresh the Explorer, and this one is to collapse folder. So we're going to click this one. Okay, also you don't have to click this one. You could use Control plus N, or you could just come to file and then you file Control plus N. So what I'm going to do, like using this one, it's fast because just next to it with the folder name. So I'm just going to call it index.php, index.php, and then so everything PHP, the extension is PHP. So what we're going to do, everything that we save in PHP, we are going to have it in PHP because it's PHP we are running, right? Yeah. So here we're going to write a very simple code, like we're going to put something on the browser. Okay, so to write PHP, you first have to, like in HTML we have tags. Now we have PHP tags, which are these are the PHP tags. So I want you to notice, so this is the opening tag, that's the opening tag, and this is the closing tag. So this is the PHP opening tag, and that's the closing tag. And with PHP 7 and above, PHP version 7 and above, we really do not have to include this one, but for best practices, a good idea to include it. So we are going to have a simple application whereby we can now put something into the browser, like we can create a simple thing. I'm just going to whet your appetite. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create a simple variable called my name, and then I'm going to say something like that. So my name is Cosmic. Then I'm going to, then something else I can do is something else I can do is that now I can echo my name, and instead of having to echo that or I could just remove this my name is Cosmic, and then could see, we could have some fun. Okay, so echo now, echo is a way that you would put the data into the browser. Okay, so you're going to say echo. So here we're going to do something different. My name is, and then we're going to do some concatenation. I'm going to tell you what is concatenation. My name is my name. So that's it. That's just a simple thing. And then we could have echo, and then we could have something like we could add some, we could also break that. I'm trying to make sure that your appetite really gets up, so break, and then we are going to have echo hello world, this is me doing some fun stuff in PHP. Indians like calling it PHP, so don't know how they come up with that pronunciation. Anyway, let's go to the browser and then see what we got. So in the browser, what you're going to do, one thing is that you're having a server, so you're going to reference to your server. So you're not going to type www.something, or maybe you're not going to type the folder name. No, what you're going to do is you're going to reference your project, and then you're going to make sure that your server is given the first reference priority. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you that, so don't worry. I'm firing Opera is what I'll be using. So something no internet. No, we won't be needing some internet today. So what I'm going to do is that, you see, now because when you save your project in htdocs, so you're not going to type htdocs, so you're going to type localhost, then you're going to put a /, and then you're going to write the name of your project, like ours is PHP Crashcourse. Now when I write that one, that's one is going to be PHP Crashcourse. Then you're going to hit enter, then we can wait for it to load, and then you can see now whatever we had in PHP, now it's here. So as you can see, now I want to introduce a very basic thing. So one thing is that you can see here, this is what you call a variable, and then this is what you call this some kind of a data type, but this the value, this the value, but this is the value, but what is the data type of the value? This one is a string, this one is also a string. Anything that you see encapsulated in quotation marks or speech marks. And you can also see that we can also write some bare HTML in PHP, okay? Because as you can see, this is a HTML tag. Yeah, because actually we are outputting our content into PHP. We could do that because actually it's running on our HTTP protocol, and all of it is going to be translated into the hypertext markup language. So actually these can work. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave it at that point, so that next time, and when we meet in the next lesson, we are going to do some real good stuff and real great stuff. So I want you to look at it, and then I want you to get into your head. It's not really tough. It's something that you can do yourself. Just know that when you're declaring variables, you use the $sign, and then you can assign when you it's not like in JavaScript where you have to use the var or let or constant keyword, but you just use that $sign or the money sign as a variable declaration. Then you can have the echo. The echo is the way you output your content into the browser. And then the concatenation is when you want to put two things against each other. I mean, like you want a name against another, or some kind of an adding, but you wouldn't say it's adding, because when you say an adding, you're going to get a combined result. But this one is not going to be a combined result. It's going to be, you're going to have the results, or the two things against each other side by side. Okay, like when I say concatenate, like when I have something like that, like this, when I echo 1, and then I put a dot here. A dot operator is used to concatenate. So then I'm going to echo 2. So you're going to have 12. Okay, that's what we call concatenation. Let's refresh. Now you see maybe I need to put another BL here. So it's a BL tag for break tag. You remember that in HTML. So I'm going to, now we have 12 here. Okay, but as you can see that the tags, they work the same way as what? They work the same way as they would be working in HTML. So what we're going to do, I'm going to leave it at that, and then what we're going to do next lesson, we are going to do some really fun things. Okay, yeah. So the next lesson is gonna be what? It's gonna be data types. It's gonna be data types. In our last lesson, the introduction to PHP, you remember that we had this code, and you can see we declared a variable here. So we declared a variable here, then we give it this value, and then you can remember we are doing something here. This is another one, and then we have this part, and then we have this one. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to introduce the data types. So data types, it's just in the other languages. Okay, most of the other languages, though some of them might not be the same, but we have something like the first one is numbers, that is integers. We have the integer data type. Then we have something like strings. Then we have boolean. Then we have then we have objects. Then we have objects. So actually these are, up to this point, these are the kind of data types that you're going to be getting. Actually in this lesson you're not going to be covering that one. We're not going to be covering objects. I'm going to create a totally new crash course on the same on our PHP objects. for now I want us to focus on data types, integers, strings, boolean. So what are the data types that I want us to look data types in a data type? Okay, here we'll be looking at integers, strings, and then we'll be having something like variables. Really we shouldn't maybe call them data types because they really are, but it's what we are going to be. So you can have a variable that's maybe a string, or you could have a variable that is like now let us have some fun with them. Now we're going to start with the integers. Now when we come to integers, like we could say dollar. Now here I'm creating a variable, and then I'm using the money sign, so I could say number one dollar number one is equals to, maybe you can give it 1 because you're talking about an integer. Then you can have dollar number two is equals to 2. Then we can have some mathematical applications on it, like we could have dollar result of not to get the result, we could maybe add them. So we could have result is equals to dollar number one plus dollar number two, dollar number two, and then we can echo. Now because we want to see the result on the browser, we can echo dollar result. Okay, and let's go see that in our browser now. So you see, I want first to comment out this one so that we can, I'm going to comment that one out, then we can refresh our browser, then you can have that, and then we can even say, we can even have something like this. The result here, we are going to have something else. Now I'll tell you what this is. So the result of adding 1 2 is, it's that. So we can refresh our browser, and then we can have that. So what is this part? So what is this part? Now this part is a string, that part is a string, and a string is anything, a number, an integer, or whatever you put inside there. It is whatever you put inside the speech marks, that is what is a boolean. So that's what is not a boolean, sorry, it's a string. A string is anything that you put inside the quotation marks. You could use double quotation marks, or you could use single quotation marks. Now let us go to strings. Strings. Now for strings, like you could have dollar name, as we had previously, is cosmic. Dollar name is cosmic, and then you could say dollar age, dollar name 1, or first name. We could have cosmic, and then you could also say dollar second name is equals to what is my other name? I do not have another name. Okay, yeah. Okay, no, I have several, but you know, this one is for yeah. So cosmic, that's the second name. So when I come here and say echo dollar first name, then I'm going to concatenate it with the second name, dollar second name, then I'm going to have a space here. So save your work, go to there, then refresh. So as you can see, we have something. We can first comment that one out, and then you can refresh. So Cosmopole, that's my name. So we really do not have okay, here we have an empty string. Okay, this one is an empty string. That's the reason we're having that space. Actually, if we did not have that empty string, we would have something like this. You see, yeah, there wouldn't be space. So the reason we are having an empty string here is to give the spacing. Okay, so those are the strings. So now let us go to boolean. And I'm going to use some conditionals here. So here I'm going to introduce you into something like maybe let me not do that. I could maybe I could have another variable, and then let me first comment this one out. So I could have another variable called my name is cosmic. My name is cosmic, and then I'm going to assign it to a true. So when I echo dollar my name is cosmic, we are going to have the following. So it's going to return a true. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to now describe these two state. Now in computers, when you talk about computer languages, it's all about zeros and ones. So a 0 stands for false, and 1 stands for a true. So when I have a 1, it means that it's a true, and when I have a 0, it is false. So the reason that we're having 1 when I print out these, when I print out the variable, is because it is a true. Now something else that we could do, we could also have to see the other side, when we can have a true and a false. So what I'm going to say, dollar my name is Alicia, and I'm going to give it a false. So these are the data types. So here when I echo out, let me first comment that out. When I echo dollar my name is Alicia, then I'm going to have a what? I'm going to have a 0. And because it's a 0, we are not going to have anything. Okay, let's go back and try to my name is cosmic, and then we are going to have what? We are going to have that. So when it's a 0, the browser will not really give us a 0, but it knows it's a false. So it's always, so this one is going to be, when you put it out in the browser, it's going to be 1, and this one is going to be what? It's going to be 0. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and put this one into action. I'm going to try and put that one into action, the boolean part, so that you might get everything. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete everything, and I'm going to kind of start over again. So I'm going to start with let's start with booleans. So I'm going to declare something like my name is cosmic, and then I'm going to assign it, it's a variable, so dollar name, and then I'm going to give it cosmic. Then I can use a simple conditional here. I can say if dollar name equals cosmic, then we can return what? Then we can return, or we can echo true. So this is the kind of or else echo false, echo false. So we save that, and then we go refresh our page. Then we have a true. What if we change the name here to have something like Kamau? No, it's a Kenyan names, or anybody outside the Kenyan country, don't worry, it's just a local name. So that's false. What if I have something like cosmic again? Then we're going to have what? We are going to have a true. So those are the data types that I'm talking about, that are called booleans. So boolean is when we return a true or false. In the number wise, or in machine language, boolean is 0 and 1. So when it is translated and then it is compiled into HTTP or markup language, it's going to be a 0 or a 1, a 0 or a 1. I hope you get that. Okay, and like you could say, like you could have maybe an integer, dollar my number dollar my number is equals to 500. That's my number. So we can say or we could say dollar my let us do something else. Dollar my name is equals to, let us still use a string here, cosmic, or we do not have to, or we could my name is equals to true. So just assign it to a boolean, and then what we can do here, we can remove this part now, because now if you just leave it like that, it's going to check for truth. If it's not, it's going to, so I'm going to, you see, undefined variable name. Oh, the reason is that we've not defined this one, so the best thing is we are going to my name, save the work, refresh. So we have a true here. What if I change it into false? What if I change it into false? Now we have a what? Now we have a false. So this is a boolean, okay? Actually, don't worry, it's just what you say. Is it true? Is it false? It's all about that, okay? So the next thing that I want us to do is strings. It is strings. So when we come to strings, strings are just what you put between quotation marks, okay? Yeah, mostly that's what is a string. And actually sometimes even when you're getting something from the user, like from an input field, that's also a string. So here I'm going to introduce a few other things. So let me comment this one out first, because I'll not be using this. Yeah, so I'm going to create my name. So I'm going to create a variable called my name. Variable my name, yeah, it's over there, but it's commanded, so it won't be a problem. My name is cosmic. So as you can see, here we have a variable, here we have a variable, and then the variable is assigned. It is assigned the value of the string cosmic. So that is the value. The value is whatever is inside the quotation marks or the speech mark. So when I come here and echo dollar my name, now we are going to get the value, okay? So we're going to get the value, you see that? So we're going to get the value of this variable, now something else that we can do is we can have multiple strings, and then we can concatenate them. Like we can have dollar his name is equals to Jogona. His name is equals to Jogonas, and then so when I come here and then I can echo variable Jogona. Oh, not Jogona is not a variable, so we can echo his. So refresh the whole work. Now we have that, but now we can echo both of them without having to do the echo thing twice. So what we can do is that we can concatenate them. We just can concatenate them. So to concatenate, just going to use one echo statement, and then you're going to concatenate my name, and then you're going to put a dot, then you're going to put a dollar sign his name. So that's it. It's the same thing, but now we can first remove the two of them, the two echo statements, so that we are left with the one echo statement. And then what we can do now, we can add an empty string here, so that we can do what? So that we can see how they're working. Now the other one that we're going to have, we're going to do some integer thing. We're going to have some fun things with integers. Here we're going to do some fun things with integers. Like so I'm going to create my integer. I'm going to create integers. Let me give it a variable. Number one is equals to 2 and then we're going to have dollar number two, number two, 2 is equals to 3. And then what we can do here is we can now do some basic calculations. We can do some basic calculations, like we could have multiplication addition. Like we can start with echo dollar number one multiplied by dollar number two, save your work, come and refresh. Now we have 6. Okay, yeah, let me comment this one out. I really don't want to see some yeah, I don't want to see some other strings, and because you know we're not working on strings. So that is there. When we remove this one, we remove that one. Maybe you have something like plus, you're going to have 5. Then when you remove, when you do something like division, we have that. You can also have minus. Because here we are working with what? Because and okay, there's another one called modulus. And then you see, so that the modulus is actually what you basically call remainders. So that's it. So that's it for the data types. In the next lesson we are going to start with the operators. How is the dance coming along? Yeah, what I say in my classes: bring determination, self-drive, positive attitude, and be ready to get your hands dirty. So we are going to meet in the next lesson. We are going to start on the operators. So get ready, just make sure that you're able to work out with these simple things, because actually these are probably most of the things that you'll be working on. You'll be working with these operators, modulars, the plus, the minus, the multiplication, the division. And then you'll be working with strings, integers, boolean, and let's say that's good. That's a good scope for them for the crash course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause here, and then we'll meet in the next lesson. Now in this lesson we're going to learn about operators, and we're going to learn about two types of operators. The two types of operators that we have, actually let me first type this one, operators. Now there are two types of operators. One is assignment operators, and then you have two we have comparison operators. These are the ones that we are going to deal with right now, and what we're going to do is we also have some others that so we have these are not the only ones. Okay, in the scope, as you go, you're going to see that there are some others that pop up. So what we're going to do, we're just going to deal with the two of them, the assignment operators, assignment operators, and then you're going to have the comparison operator. So right now let us delve into the assignment operators. So what is an assignment operator? So let me comment this one out. So assignment operators is like when you have dollar my name is equals to cosmic. So when we talk about an assignment operator, so the equal sign here is an assignment operator, because this one is assigning the value of cosmic, the value of the string cosmic, to this variable. So this one is an assignment operator. Like when you have something like dollar is true, then you give it a value of true, or you could have something dollar number one is equals to value of 2 or 1. So this the assignment operator, this the assignment operator. Something else that we can have is we can have something like dollar 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 the price dollar price equals to 21 Kenyan shillings. 21 Kenyan shillings. So these are this is a string, this one is a number, this one is a string. Okay, so that's basically it. Those are the assignment operators. They are not a big deal. Okay, they are not a big deal. So let us go to the other part. Let us go to the other part where we are going to have the comparison operators. Like let us have number one. Let me call it number one is equals to 5. Then you're going to have num2 is equals to 8. Now what we are doing here, first we're having the assignment operator. Now we need to compare the two of them. So we are going to use a conditional. We are going to say if $num1 is greater than $num2, then you could echo $num1 is greater than $num2. So we are just going to include a string here to say is greater than. Okay, else we could copy that line of code, then put it here. Then we can do something like is not greater than number 2. So what we're going to do, we are just going to check this one out. So 5 is not greater than 8. That's a cool thing because that's true. So because number one, the one that we assigned to the value of 5, and then we have number 2 which is 8. So 5 greater than 8? No. So what we're going to do right now, we can maybe try 987, whatever the number that you think of, and then we can have something like 1500, 150. Let's see now which one is greater. Now you see 987 is greater than 150. So this one is a comparison operator. Now you can still have this greater sign and then use an exclamation mark so let us just stick with that. I'm going to show you where to use the exclamation mark, and then yeah, that's up to that point. That's when you're using the greater sign, but you can use the less than sign where you can. So we're now getting 987 is not greater. So instead of not greater, we can use less than. So 987 is not less than 150. That's true. So that one is a less than sign, and then we can have a greater than or equals to. So now we can have is greater than or less. So that is going to read number one is greater than or less. So we are going to have is not greater than or not less. It's actually equal to or equal to. So in not greater than or equal to, so it's true. If number one is less than, so you're having the second part. So the problem is what you are outputting. Okay, so let us look at it. So 987, so is 987, so we're going to have number one is greater than or equal to, could have is greater than or equal to number 2. So we could have something like is not greater than or equal to. Let us refresh. and instead of, because here you're using the less sign, to remove the, you can remove the you could remove the greater, so that we can have now the correct statement. 987 is not less than or equal to 150, so it is greater than. But when you have the greater than sign here, so this time we are going to have that statement running. Now you're going to have 987 is, now the problem is I changed this, I changed the greater sign and I did not change this one. So greater than, so 987 is greater than or equal to 150. So that's the comparison operator. We are still not yet done, because we could also try something like what? We could also try something like we've used the greater than, the less than, and then we have seen how those are the comparison operators. And something else we could have a double equal sign. Double equal sign is when we're having double equal sign, this one is a comparison operator. This one is not an assignment operator. Okay, we are going to compare the two. If this one is equal to this one, then we can have that one. So we can say is now we need to remove this one. If you have something like that, we can remove it everywhere. Is equal to, is not equal to, so we can 987 is not equal to 150. But if I have maybe 987 here, save it, then we're going to have 987 is equal to 987. Okay, so this one is a comparison operator, whereby we are checking if both of them are equal to each other. So that's it. And then we can also have something like when we don't know, when something is not equal, you could also use something like that. Now that's where I was talking about using the exclamation mark. Exclamation mark in PHP means that it's not, it means not. Again, exclamation mark means not. Okay, so when I say not equal to, so you can use double equals, doesn't matter. Oh no, so we can remove that one and refresh. So yeah, so double equals, single equals, by the way, we're going to delve on that, okay, when you use double equals or single equals. And as I said, when you're using a double equals, it's especially when you're assigning. When you have a double equals, we are comparing the two. So here we are saying so the problem here is in the statement, like number 1 is equal to, is not equal to, like number 2, like let us have to 10. Now we are going to have a good one. Yeah, so 987 is not equal to 210. So that's how you can have comparison. Now I remember, now I want to introduce another data type that maybe I forgot to tell you about. You can have another data type called float. Data type called float, or floating point numbers. So a float is when you have something like that has a decimal point. Okay, yeah, a data type like when you have a decimal point. So like when you have 9.0 or 2.0 or 2.35 or 7.7 or 7.8, like we could have something like here. Now we are not, now this one is not it's really not a float, so it's really not a number. So we're going to have 87587, then we're going to have 487. Now we can come and refresh, and you see, so is it equal to, no, it's not. So this is a problem there, is not. So here we're going to say if number 1 this is a problem. So if number 1 is not equal to, so here we're supposed to say is equal to, it's equal to, and then here you're supposed to say is not equal to, so 987 is not equal to that. But when we have something like 987, and then you have 587, then you're going to have the other part running. Okay, so 97 is equal to 987. So here we're checking if they are equal to or not. Okay, those are the comparison operators. So I hope you get that. Do some practice on this one. Don't let it push you down. And then we meet in the next class where you're going to learn about functions, and this where the real dance starts. Okay, so see you in the next lesson. In the last lesson we've been looking at the operators. Now this one is going to be about functions. This is what we've been doing in the last lesson. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to clear this out, and then we're going to have functions. So this one is gonna be fun, so be ready. And I hope you have a great attitude, because this one is gonna be fun. Now what are functions? A function is just a block of code that does a specific kind of job that you're assigned to it. You're going to create a function maybe to do something like in a vehicle. You want a function to run the gear wheel, and then you want to determine what number is the gear, and then you can switch the speed and the cogs as required. Now that is about the vehicle, but you can also have functions in a house. You can also have functions in a hotel, and like when you have a function in a hotel that is you can call it function serve, that a function that is going to decide which seat has a customer, and the customer has not been served. So you're going to have maybe a customer that has not been served, and then the function is going to get a waiter. So if a customer is served, then the function is to get a waiter. Okay, you're not going to create that kind of a bombastic thing. We're just going to create a simple thing here for illustration. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how you introduce a function introductions, and you do that by using the function keyword. You do that by using the function keyword, and then naming your function. Like mine, I'm gonna call it call out my name, and then I'm going to give it a parameter here. Can give it dollar name, can give it dollar name to be something that then when after this how you use the function keyword, and then this is the name of the function. You can call it whatever you want, blah blah blah, anything, and then you can have a parameter here. You really do not have to include a parameter. Okay, and then you can have a function do something like you can have a function. So you can say if dollar name is equals to cosmic, and I want you to notice what I'm using right now. I'm using the equal sign or a comparison operator, where we are checking if it is equal to that string. So then we are going to echo your name is, and then we are going to concatenate with the dollar name. Else if that is not true, then we are going to have echo I don't know you. I don't. Or we could say, let's have the machine say something. Me as a machine, I really don't know you. I really don't. I really don't know you. Know you, buddy. So then we can come here and then call the function. So how we now, this one is called function invocation here. That's just basically calling out a function. Okay, function. Yeah, so here how to call a function, you just call it like this. Okay, because we want to see something how you call a function, you can just say call out my name, and then you're going to pass something like cosmic, because right now this one is not going to do anything. Because it's not going to do anything, we can add an echo statement here, so that we can have it call out your name is Cosmic. So if I did not put the name Cosmic here, I could have maybe my name is Kelvin, and then you're going to see it say that it does not know me. You see, yeah, me as a machine, I really don't know you, buddy. So you see, that's our function. That's our function. Let us have it say something nice like hello sir, welcome, what you gonna take, champagne, or soda. Haha. Yeah, so we're having a party, right? Yeah, we're having a party. So instead of having the name hello sir, we could even put the name there, and then you can have dollar, name, then we can have, yeah, we can have that. So but it really does not know. So when I put the word Cosmic here, then it does hello Cosmic, welcome, what you gonna take, champagne or soda? So that's how cool functions are. So functions are used in so many ways. Like you can create a block of code that you can later use. Okay, like when I create this function and can later use it if I really needed to use it. Now I want to do something now for that part where I'm talking about using a function over and over again. So I'm going to create function calculate result, and then I'm going to give it two numbers, but before that let us drop the code block there. So here I'm going to have dollar number one, dollar number one, and we are going to have dollar number two, this one's gonna be number two, and then we're going to have dollar operator. So what we're going to do, we're going to check if the operator, it's gonna be a simple calculator. Okay, so here we're going to do something like this. If operator is equals to, we're going to check if it is plus. If it is plus, then we are going to add the two numbers. We're going to return, we're going to return dollar number one plus dollar number two. Okay, so that's the first one. Then else if, now you're going to use else if the operator is equals to maybe something like minus, we are going to have what? We are just going to have something like this. So I'm just going to copy this line of code and then put it here, put it there, and then I'm going to minus. Then you can still copy this, and then instead of minus we gotta have multiplication. So this one is gonna be multiplication. Then we can have the same here, and then we can have division. And then we can have what? We can have division. Then we can have another one here, the modular sign. Remember the modular sign? Yeah. The modular sign. So that's it. So here we can come and now call this function. We can call the function here. Now let me zoom out a bit so that we can see most of the code. Sorry, yeah, my voice is not that good. So here what we're going to do, we're going to call the function, and we're going to give it two numbers and an operator. Like we're going to say echo, so that we can see it on the echo part is so that it can be seen there on the browser. Then the other part is that we are going to get the function. So calculate calculate result, and then the first thing that we are going to give it, we are going to give it number 2, and then we are going to give it number 3, and then the operator is gonna be what? It's gonna be plus. It's gonna be plus. We could put that one there, and then put and then we can go and see what we're having. So we're going to refresh. So you see it is 2 and 3. So what if we do something like this? What if we maybe 8, 9 and 4? We should be having that in, right? Yes, we have that in. Now what if we change this one into minus? What if we change that into minus? You see 9 minus what? It is 9 minus 4, it is 5. 9 minus 4 is 5. Then we could maybe make it a modulus. We could make it a modulus. You see, now we have a modulus of 1 because 4 is going to get we're going to have a remainder of 1 when you divide 9 by 4. Then you can have multiplication. Then you're going to have 36. Then we can have what? We can have a division. Then you're going to have what? 2.25. So that's a simple calculator, as you can see. Okay, so that's a function. Okay, that is the functions part. So what I want you to do is I want you to try and do this simple calculating application. If you're able to do it, then we can see that you're good with functions. But before we continue, I want us to learn something new. Functions without parameters. So I'm going to comment this one out, I'm going to comment that one out, so that we can have functions without parameters. So functions without parameters. So here we can have just a function name, function say hi, function say hi. Then we are going to have return hi. So we can come and have something like echo. Then we are going to first thing we are going to call is the function say hi, and then you're going to concatenate it with what? We are going to concatenate with maybe your name. So I can have cosmic. Then maybe you can have, yeah. So let's see how it works. Hi cosmic. You see, when we change the name, it's gonna be maybe Julian. We can have hi Julian. You see, yeah. Now that's how you make functions. That's how you make functions in PHP. So what's up? We're going to see you in the next we're going to meet in the next lesson. The next one is going to be fun, real fun, because this time we're going to introduce ourselves to servers. We're going to start XAMPP, then we're going to have MySQL, and then we're progressing very well. So just be ready for the next part. Practice, and want you to try something new, mess around with the code, have some fun. Yeah, don't let it bore you to death. Okay, yeah, just have some fun, try something new here and there, and then you're really going to master it. Okay, yeah, it's about determination, right? So I'm going to pause it here, and then we're going to meet in the next lesson, which is XAMPP and MySQL. Okay, yeah. We've been working on functions. Now it's time to have some real stuff that works. Okay, so yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to introduce you to something called XAMPP. It's a tool that it's an Apache tool. Okay, so it's a server, it's a PHP server. So I'm going to introduce you to the tool. So it's called XAMPP. Now XAMPP is this tool. It's this tool here. It's this tool here. I'm waiting for it to get fed up. I don't open it. Mine is always on auto start. So I'm going to type something here: localhost php my admin. and then I'm going to minimize that. Now this my XAMPP tool is the XAMPP control panel. Now probably when you tried running some of your files, if you did not fire up this tool, and if you do not have this, you're going to be having issues. That is probably because the Apache or MySQL is not running. Now if you have that problem, what you're going to do, just start XAMPP control panel. You can start XAMPP control panel. If you don't know where it is, you can just go to the start, and then you click the start, and then you look at the menu, and it's gonna be under the XAMPP folder, and then see a XAMPP control panel. So if yours did not start, you can try using that. So what you're going to do, you're just going to click like I can click stop. It's making a lot of noise. Yes, and then going to have that on stop, and then it just wants me to make something, so I'm also going to tell that not to stop. Then it's gonna make some few noises here and there. Yeah, that's it. Then probably when you fire up your XAMPP control panel, you're going to have something like this. So what you're going to do, you're just going to click the start button on the Apache. So you're going to click start, and then it's gonna give you something, and then you're going to say yes, and then you're going to click another one on the MySQL, and then you're going to click yes on the smart screen, and then you really don't know how to start the others, okay? But me, I also like finding FileZilla, because I'm also using FileZilla. So that's how you start them. And now to go to this page that I have already loaded, you just close that one. And then instead of having to go there, you really do not have to have the browser open. So you can just come here and click Apache, then click admin, and then click admin. So it's going to open up MySQL, not MySQL, it's going to open up PHP my admin. It's going to open PHP my admin. So we wait for it to load. It's loading. Then when it has loaded, it's gonna give us something. So this is a dashboard. And now, as you can see, this is the dashboard. When you install it and click that one, this is what you're going to have. So what is Apache? Apache is this MariaDB, PHP, and PAL. Yeah, so it is XAMPP stands for cross platform, and then A stands for Apache, M stands for MariaDB, P stands for PHP, and the other P stands for PAL. So what is MariaDB? MariaDB is actually SQL. It's a SQL language whereby you what is an SQL? It's a structured query language. It's some server language that can be used on the server. So that's what a XAMPP is. It is cross-platform for the Apache and MariaDB, PHP, and PAL. So what we are going to do, we are not really going to dwell on this one, but as you can see, this one we're using the version 7.5, but let's not dwell on that. So what something else we can do, we can look at PHP info. PHP info is going to tell you about the kind of PHP that you're using, but still we do not have to dwell on that one. Then our tool is this one. The one that we really require is the PHP my admin. Now when you install your PHP my admin, it's not going to have a password, okay? But mine has a password. So my password, I'm just going to type my password, and then I'm going to hit enter. Yours will not have a password, so it's not going to give you this, but it's just going to be already logged in, because actually you cannot log in somebody when there's nobody to log in, okay? So when there are no user accounts. So this now the PHP my admin, this way we'll be creating our databases, this way we'll be creating our tables, and then this way our data will be, when we want to view our data, this will be doing it. We don't have to view it here, we can view it on a custom page. That is now where we're going to apply PHP. So that is XAMPP, and I want to introduce you a little bit to MySQL. When I talk about MySQL, it's actually a language, it's a SQL language, but that's just a different flavor, not really a flavor, but just a brand name. But when we come to here, we're using MariaDB. We're using the server type here is what is MariaDB, and the connections via TCP and IP. So the kind of PHP that we're using is PHP 7.3.5 right here, and SSL 1.1b. So 1.1.1b. Really, that one does not have to scare you, okay? The only thing that you need to know is PHP 7.3.5, because using some earlier versions than 5, that can be really, it can be a pain, okay? So that's it. And then we'll be using MySQLi. MySQLi is the PHP extension, and also we'll be using curl. Curl is when you're trying to access other websites, and we also be using MB string, but really maybe not curl and MB string. We might not use it in this tutorial, but I'm gonna create one for that, because I'm going to create some tutorials for APIs, web APIs, and in web APIs, that's where you use curl, okay? So for now, I want to introduce you to something called this SQL tab. In this SQL tab, that's where you will be typing our SQL commands, and then I'm going to show you some simple commands. Like I'm going to show you like how to create right now, not later, okay? I'm going to show you like how to create a database, like how to create a table, how to add a table, and maybe how to insert data, how to delete it. I mean a simple CRUD application. CRUD stands for, CRUD is CURD. So a CRUD stands for, I'm gonna delete this, or maybe I should not, so I'm gonna put it here so that you can see. So CRUD stands for what? CRUD stands for create, then read, and update, delete. So that's where we get the create, read, update, and delete. So we're going to create a simple CRUD application, and then so the first thing that I want us to do, the database that we're going to create here, we're going to use it in the next chapter. We are going to create a simple register and login form, and then we can have our data put in the database, so that when there is a login, the data can be verified, and then if the login was successful, there can be a login successful, and if it was not, we can have a login unsuccessful. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to use commands, then we're going to create that one. But I really don't prefer using this one. I don't prefer using the SQL command. I'm a fan of command prompt, so I'm going to fire up my command prompt, and I like using it. It's it's fast, and you understand some of these things. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to navigate to MySQL command prompt. It has its own command, it has its own command prompt. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get out of this one, and then I'm going to navigate to cd means change directly, and I'm using an user. These are concatenated these are concatenated commands. So first I'm getting out of the current directory, then I'm changing the directory to XAMPP, and then inside XAMPP we have a folder or directory called MySQL. Then in MySQL directory, you can call it MySQL or MySQL. It depends with how comfortable you with it. I am just comfortable with MySQL. So here, then after MySQL, then we're going to have bin, and then now here we have it. So the next part is logging in. Now I'm going to log in, so I'm going to type MySQL, then the user is root, and then the password is what I'm going to and so I'm required to enter the password, so I enter the password. You see it's masked, so you can see, so you really don't have to guess that. Yeah, so I'm going to hit enter, and then you can see welcome to MariaDB monitor. Command ends with semicolon or backslash G dot. Your MariaDB connection ID is 22. So if you want to close this connection using the task kill command, you can use that 22 server connection. No, the server version is at 10.1.4, and then the MariaDB thing. Then we have it's a copyright, so it's really not much. When you want help, just type help, okay? But we're not gonna do that. So what we are going to do, because we really do not have a database, okay, we have, but those are not the ones that we are going to use. We need to create a new database, so we can call it a PHP Crashcourse. So how I'm going to do it, I'm going to type create, it's like simple English, create database PHP crash course, and then I'm going to put a semicolon. As you can see here, we are told that commands, what is it, commands end with what, commands end with that. So you really don't have to type this one, okay? I prefer using the semicolon. So I'm going to hit enter. And then okay. So as you can see, it has been created, the query okay, one row affected. So like right now we didn't have that database. So you see, before we refresh, we do not have that database, okay? We just have a AMS, exams, HMS, information schema, MySQL, OrbitApp, performance schema, PHP manager, test. Those are the ones. But when I refresh here, and then we're going to have a what? We are going to have the PHP crash course database. So I'm waiting for the server to finish loading. Now we have the PHP crash course, that is our database. So what we're going to do, we're going to add a few tables. So to add a table, you just have to be inside the database. So I'm going to use to have the command use so PHP crash course, then I'm going to, so the database has been changed. Now I can create a table, and then our table is going to be very simple. It's going to have very simple data. It's going to hold very simple data. We're just going to have the ID of the user, then the first name, last name, and then maybe the password. Or we could just have the ID, the username, and the password. Yeah, let us go with the latter. So I'm going to say create. It's just simple, it's very simple English, okay? Create table users, and then you open and close a parenthesis, and then inside here you're going to type the name of the field. So the first field is going to be ID, and then you're going to give it a data type. Is going to be of medium int of going to be of 9 characters. I need to have 9 characters, and then it's going to be unsigned, and then let's make it auto increment, and something else that we might want to use is let's also make it primary key, okay? Something else maybe I need to tell you is that apart maybe from the issues of problems of having not well named fields like columns, SQL does not have issues with what it is case insensitive. So you can type in capital letters, small letters, or toggle case. So whatever the case that you're using, there is no problem. But remember, maybe you could name something like the username in capital, and then when you're going to PHP you write the username in small, and then that could give you a problem. So whatever the kind of letter case that you're using, always remember it. But the SQL does not have a problem. So we are going to have a username, which is going to be of virtual, that's a data type, or variable or characters. Then let us give it 255, and then we're going to make it let's say it's not null. Let's declare that so that it's not null. Then we're going to have another one called password. Let's give it a data type of characters, and then we're going to give it maybe 1,000 characters, because we want it to be as strong as possible, and then we're going to, let's wrap it at that. Okay, then you can hit enter. So the pro is that we're having the maximum characters you can have. What we're going to have is we are going to remove the 2000, the 1000, maybe you can give it 255. 255 is the maximum number of characters you can have. Now our query has been okay, as you can see here. As you can see here, now if you want to see our table, you can just type the command describe PHP. No, we're not going to describe. We don't describe a database. We describe a table. So describe users. So that's it. That's our table. It has the column ID. It has the column username. It has the column ID. It has the column username. Then it has the column password. And as you can see, the ID is unsigned. It's not now. It's primary key. And then now something else. You see, this one is now. We don't want to have this now, so we can do this. We can alter that. So we can change that. So how do you do that? You can say alter table users change. Yeah, that's a change. That's a command that changes that. So change password. Then you're going to put it the way you want. Password. Then it's going to be characters, and then you're going to have 255. Not null. This time around we're not going to have a null, so it is okay. So when we describe again, now you're going to see that the password has changed and it's not null. I want you to look at this key here when the null key is yes, but it has changed. So that is the SQL commands that we'll be using. Now I want us to do something very simple. Before we continue, I want us to come back here, refresh the server, and then we are going to check. Now in the PHP crash course, now you see we have the table users, and as you can see we have the table users, but it's empty, right? Yeah, you can see it is empty. Now we can insert insert a few fields. We can insert like a few fields, like insert into users. Then we're going to have values, and then we can. So what we're going to insert, we're going to put it in between these brackets. So the first thing that we're going to use, we're not going to insert the ID. The computer is gonna take care of that. So here we're going to insert, maybe the first one is gonna be cosmic, and then we're going to have the password is we're going to have let's give it a string, maybe of 1 through 9, and then these ones actually you don't put them there, so these ones are supposed to go in there. Those ones are supposed to go in the values parentheses. So here we are going to remove this one, and then we are going to remove this. We are not going to put them in quotation marks. So what we are going to write here is you're going to write here username, and then you're going to write password. So this username is gonna correspond to this one, and this second part is gonna correspond to that one. So when I hit enter, it's gonna now do that check for me. Now it has worked. So if we want to see, like, we've entered the username, like right now when you load it, it does not have anything, but when you click it again, now you have something. You have cosmic, and you see it has entered the ID for us. So we can do that again, and this time around we can enter some, instead of cosmic we could have something like Hobbit. Yeah, Hobbit was a funny movie. Then we can have Hobbitat. Then you can say, you can hit enter, and then this time around when you click users, you see now you have that, right? Yeah, so that's how you do it in the command prompt. Is it the only way? Nah, it's not. So we can still add data here. How we can come and click insert, and then we can have the insert. We can have Gen 1 2 3 or Gen Do, you know, the famous Gen Do, right? And then you can have that password. Then you can say, you can hit go, and you see it's giving us this code. Okay, it's giving us that code. So what we're going to do, we can, you know, it has already been inserted, so we can go and check it out. Now we have gender and that, you see that. So that's how you insert the data. What about creating the database? How about creating the database? You can also create the database in a GUI, and a GUI is a graphical user interface. So you can create the database here. How? You just click this icon, click that icon, then here you have databases, and then you can create a database by putting a name here like created via GUI, and then you can select the collection here. The best one is UTF-8 Unicode CI, UTF-8 Unicode CI, yeah, UTF-8 Unicode CI. Then you can create, you see now our database will be called created via GUI. Then you can hit go. Now you can see our created via GUI is, you know, to create a table. You can create a table. You can create a table by clicking this. By you can call it members, and then you can give it maybe a column, 3 columns, and we can still add the same things that we had. You see, it's loading. It's loading. The first column is gonna be ID. There is gonna be an integer. We're gonna give it 9, and we really don't have. I like medium int. Medium is gonna be great. Default. You know, it's not null. Then you're gonna have collation. You know, just the same thing, but this one is gonna be global. It's not signed, so we're gonna give it unsigned, and then we're gonna give it the primary key, and then we'll say it's the auto increment. It has the AI. So the other one is gonna be username, and it's gonna be a virtual data type, no virtual. Then we're gonna give it 255 is not now, and then yeah, the rest we can leave it like that. Then you can have password. You click the voucher, then 255, and then you can save. Now you can click save. Is processing, and you see it has created that table. Now when you come, you can have, you have that, you have members that we can still insert data by the same method. If you have created it here, you can also access it in the GUI. So how is it coming? I think you like it. So what we're going to do, I want you to take the hang of it and put it into use, because in the next one we're going to have a full hour. We're going to have a full hour of application creation. We're going to create a CRUD application, and then register and login application. Right now I hope that you're going to put some practice into this. So please watch out for my next lesson, because I'm not going to include it here. I'm going to stop this video at this point, and then we can create a totally different one, because I don't want it to be 2 hours. I don't want it to be 5 hours long. I want it to be as short as possible. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to quit here, and then I'm gonna give you ideas, and then what we're gonna do is we are gonna meet in the next lesson, where we are going to create a register and login form, and then we can do some CRUD application thing, and then yeah, let's meet then. So what you're going to do, just to support this channel, you can hit the subscribe button, like my videos, and then you can pass around the link. Okay, yeah, see you in the next lesson, which is gonna be register and login.